Hey everyone, so this is Joel over here, and this is our seventh episode in our React series. And in this episode, we will be looking into the topic called what is dynamic content loading. So, yeah, let's get started. And this is the web page which we left previously, and we're gonna start from here. And what is dynamic content loading? So, the statement says that we are going to load something dynamically without static. So here you can see we have load all these four cards with a static method. We are using all this core stack for 4 times to create a cards like this. But this is not a proper way for programmers to write a React program, since this takes large numbers of lines to write the programs, and second thing, a new programmer can't read these program lines for him or his understanding. So we have to use a dynamic content loading logic over here to bring these cards to render over here. So let's see how we can do this. And here you can see we have used 4 HTML tags, which is 4 core tags to bring these cards. But in dynamic loading, we are going to use only one core tag, and we are going to bring all these 4 cards over here. So first thing is we have to go and create a JSX file in our source folder. So let me create it. And now I name it as course list over here, .jsx. So, okay, I have mentioned it .js, so it's JSX. Okay, so now we created a JSX file called course list. So as a default template, we will just make those functions and exporting and all. So function course list, and it's gonna return, right? And open bracket, and yeah, and at last we have to export this, right? So export default course list. Okay, done. So now this is a basic thing we used to create while creating a component, right? So this is kind of basic. So now what I'm gonna do is for using these images, I'm gonna use all these pictures import statements over here in my course list.jsx. So you can see I'm not gonna use any images over here, and I'm gonna remove all these tags. Okay, let me remove this later. And here we have course.jsx, right? So we want to import even this component in our course list.jsx. So what I'm gonna do is import course from uh, course.jsx. So all these images and our course component is being imported. So now let's create a list containing all those cards. So yeah, we have removed everything, right? So there won't be any rendering in our web page. So now we are gonna create a list, gonna have the list of all the cards and those details over here. So now inside this function, I'm gonna write const. Let me name it as cards. Okay, so cards is equal to list, or you can say it as an array, list or array. So now inside this list, I'm gonna create a object over here. Okay, this is our first element. Those curly braces is the first element, which is 0th index of a list or array, you can say it. So we are creating an object over here, and here in the object, we need to write the details of a cards. So here we have course.jsx, and we are getting image as an input, title as an input, description as an input, and price as an input, right? So title colon learn HTML. Okay, this should be in strings over here. Okay, so next we have uh description over here. So instead of writing one by one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all these things, and in course list.jsx, let me remove this, and here I'll just, instead of equal to, I'll just make it a colon and comma enter, and colon comma enter. Okay, comma enter and colon. So now we have created a card. Our first card is HTML course, and we have the description of the course and price of the course and image of the course. So for right now, I'll just make it into string $99. Yeah. So let us create a second card over here. And now I'll just copy paste these things. Yeah. So now it is CSS course and learn CSS. Let it be same, and image is CSS, right? And CSS. So for right now, let us keep it for two cards over here. We have used HTML course and CSS course cards over here. So we have created a list containing the details of those cards. So if we click on this arrow, it becomes minimized over here. So now in return, now before going to return, we are going to map it. So you must know what is arrow functions in JavaScript, and if not, go and gain knowledge in arrow functions, and then you just start looking into this episode, because arrow function is the main concept over here. So now I'm just creating a const saying course list over here. Course list is equal to, let me have a variable called cards dot map. We are gonna map those cards, and in brackets, let me create a arrow function over here. And this arrow function is gonna have our course tag over here. So now we are gonna pass a variable over here. You can say it as, or else argument over here, you can say it as courses, something like this. So now here, let's look for a while. I'll just explain you what's happening later. So now what I'm gonna do is, we have title, right? So title is equal to courses dot title. Sorry, it should be like inside the bracket. Courses dot title. And next we have price is equal to courses dot price. And we have next, what else we have over here? Description, right? So let's copy this. So description is equal to courses dot description. And lastly we have image, right? So image is equal to courses dot image. So let me minimize this, or else wait, let me break it down into here. Price, description, and image. Yeah. So now what we are doing over here is, we have created a variable called course list, right? And this course list is gonna have a mapping of these cards. So cards is a list we have created to hold these values. So cards. Now this card is gonna map with course title. So now let's say we have title, right? Now this title HTML course is being mapped by the card, and it's inside this courses argument, you can say. Now to access this, we are just telling title is equal to courses dot title, because we have the data in courses. So courses dot title. So mention those data in title and store it in title over here. So this title is the variable of this title over here. So once the data is being stored in courses, we are just telling to store it in title, and this whole thing will be stored in this title, and this variable title and this variable title are both as same over here. So next it will be rendered in our UI. So now let's check and see for these two cards, and now we are going to return this const over here, and this is a variable, right? So of course we have to return in curly braces. So course list, but return statement should be fragmented with those tags. So let me just cut it and make those tags over here, and I'll just return it over here. Next step is we have to export this to app.jsx file. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all these things over here. So now we have to import it first, right? So import we have it as a course list from course list dot jsx. So T has been missed over here. Okay, is there any mistake? So the error which I got it, some name convention error over here. So I just rename this course list.jsx into cards.jsx over here, and even function name I just changed to cards and exported as a cards over here. So in app.jsx I have imported this import statement as cards, and I've used as a HTML tag with this fragmented over thing over here. So now let's go and check. You can see HTML cores and CSS cores has been included. So now you can see over here we have created the cards, which is containing the title, HTML cores, and this button. But those description and image price didn't render over here. The reason is now if you check in course.jsx, we have price with small p and description with lowercase d over here. So now let's go and check in our cards. So now you can see these both have been changed over here. Let me change and show you. Let me change this uppercase d into lowercase and price to lower p over here. And now over here this description should be changes to lowercase d, and even this. So now if you go and check, you can see our description is being enabled over here, because the thing what I'm trying to say is we are accessing these variables over here. So both these variables should be linked. So according to name convention rules, both should be in proper cases over here, because it's most React is most case sensitive thing, right? So we have to be very conscious with these uppercase and lowercase also with over here. And now for image, so you can see all the things got rendered over here. Now let's find it for image. What's the thing we have to do over here? So image is equal to courses.image over here, but in our courses we have img over here. So in cards.jsx, in image you have to write it as img. And now let's see. So you can see over here, so basically our course.jsx component file is being linked with this cards.jsx, and we are just using same variables to link those two components. So let's tell the summary of this video. The thing is, now in app.jsx, previously we used 4 types of course tags over here to bring this cards, right? So now we are just using dynamic content loading thing. So first step, we have to create a dedicated JSX file over here, which I created as cards.jsx over here. Previously it was in course list.jsx. Some name convention errors I got because while I'm testing, I wrote the same file name, so it got overwritten over those previous files. So I just changed the name over here, which is like cards.jsx. So first step, we have to create a dedicated JSX file. And as of normal, you have to create this function cards and return statement and this export as default. As a second step, we have to create a const cards over here, which is saying that we are creating a list over here. So this list are gonna contain objects of your cards, and this is the elements of your card thing. So here we are gonna include all details over here. So const cards is equal to list containing all these objects over here. And third step, we have to map these cards to a variable over here. So we are creating a const variable over here and saying that map this cards. Cards is the list which we have created over here. Cards dot map, which is gonna map with an arrow function inside it. We are just telling take an argument called courses over here and map this to a tag. So now course title is equal to courses or title, which is we are creating a course tag over here and we're just telling title is equal to courses dot title. So basically this cards is gonna map, example let's speak this title CSS codes. This data is been now inside this courses argument via cards. So cards is mapping this title argument inside this courses, and this is gonna be used over here. So this data is being included over here, and now it's been stored over this title over here. So now this title is been linked to this course.jsx, and now it got rendered over here in our HTML page. Now let's go and change it over here by adding a new card over here. So I'll just make a comma and then I'll just create an object over here. So now instead of CSL, let me give it as JS and learn JS and images JS, I guess. Yeah, the JS is the image I have imported. So now let's go and check over here in our web page. You can see a new card has been added. So without using multiple course tags. So this is more easier for reacting to bring your cards without using multiple times of course tags. So that's it guys. This is the dynamic content loading of React, and let's see it on next episode 8 of a React series. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.